this is the first conversation you have had with Robert Creed.
Correct.
And during that interview, did he tell you that he didn't know who was involved in the murder?
Correct.
Okay. And after that conversation, on July the 6th, is that when there was an arrest warrant for Ronnie Walker?
After,
July the 6th, was there an arrest warrant for Ronnie Walker?
yes.
Okay. And at this point, had you had any other conversations with Robert Creed?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Did you ultimately have another conversation with Robert Creed on July the 28th?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, during that conversation, did you speak to Robert Creed about this case?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Okay. And during that interview, did he provide you with information as it pertains to this murder?
He did.
Okay. And at this point, when you had a conversation with Robert Creed, was this in Pinellas County?
It was, yes, ma'am.
Okay. And were you a Detective Sackrider?
I was.
Did you read him Miranda?
Yes, ma'am.
Did he appear to understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Was his statement on July the 28th different from his statement on May the 31st?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And at this point, did he implicate Ronnie Walker?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you offer him anything in exchange for him giving you a statement to implicate Ronnie Walker?
No, ma'am.
Did you make him any promises?
No, ma'am.
But did you put pressure on him to tell the truth or to tell what he might know?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Now, did you insinuate in any way that Robert Creed could be charged with premeditated first-degree murder?
Yes.
But, as a homicide detective, are you allowed to say things in an interrogative fashion in order to get information from people?
Yes, ma'am.
But actually, could you, with the information you had, charge Robert Creed with premeditated first-degree murder for this case?
No, ma'am.
Based on the evidence that you had, did you have any evidence to support premeditated first-degree murder on Robert Creed when you said that to him?
No, I did not have that.
So why did you say that to him?
Again, a tactic during interviews. You have to make the interviewee feel like that they have no way out sometimes, and we had already gotten to the point where truthfulness wasn't being presented. If we had a magic power, these cases would be so much easier if everybody just told the truth right away. And so there's tactics that have to be used sometimes to get the truth to come out.
Okay. Ultimately, though, at this same interview on July the 28th of 2022, Robert Creed does in fact implicate Ronnie Walker in this murder, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
But prior to that, you still had charged Ronnie Walker with premeditated first-degree murder, correct?
Correct, yes, ma'am.
Okay. Did the evidence you had at this point to the fact that this vehicle, the Ford, picked up Nylexia Alexander based on your identification of her and everything?
Yes.
Objection, improper question, obeys the province of the jury.
The evidence.
Bernicia Williams, tat, tat, tat. Joni Ford, what up? Thank y'all for being here. I decided to go ahead and play some of this. Had to get back in there. Should have just left it running. My bad. Shoot.
I must sustain the objection.
Did the evidence that you had at this point support the fact that this vehicle, this Ford, was the Ford involved in?
Objection. Can we approach Judge?
Yes.
We got a little speed up time. Let's get past some of these interruptions.
Isn't this a nice surprise?
Thank you. Are you familiar with the mere presence law?
Yes, ma'am.
Objection. Improper opinion.
May we approach?
Come on. You know what? It is a good time. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a 10-minute break. Oh, hang on. 10-minute break, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, let's go stay with you.
Now, sir, Your Honor, for the record, I'd like to reintroduce State Exhibit 31 because there was already a 30C, and I do apologize. I have discussed it with the defense.
So just so the record's clear, it was introduced as what exhibit number?
30C, but we have a 30C, so
No.
I'm changing it to 31.
Yes. No objection.
All right, it'll be minutes 31C.
Thank you, Your Honor. Now, you have discussed the fact that you had a conversation with Ronnie.
Sometimes it's being introduced as 31.
31, no letter to
31, no
follow.
C.
Yes.
31, no C. It will be removed.
Now, sir, I am showing you State Exhibit 30C. Using this map, can you explain, did you create this map?
I did, yes, ma'am.
I think it's in evidence. Oh, I'm sorry. I am showing you what has been pre-marked as State Exhibit 30C.
Okay.
Judge,
I can't even read this.
believe that's it.
36.
Hold on. What?
Sorry. Go ahead.
30C is already introduced.
36C and 36D.
Okay.
Do you recognize these?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you create them?
Yes.
Okay. Your Honor, at this time, the state would move those into evidence.
I don't have an objection.
It'll be minutes 36A and D.
C and D. C is in cat, and D is in dog.
Taking one of the letters here.
State Exhibit 36D. You created this map?
Not this one, no, ma'am.
Okay. But do you recognize what is being depicted?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. What can you tell us as it pertains to that?
It's showing the distance from Miss Sweet's apartment to the area where the victim is picked up.
Okay. And what's the distance?
According to this map, 0.1 mile.
And I think you indicated where Robert Creed was living at the time. Do you recall?
Yes, ma'am.
And where was that?
He was in the area of Belmont Heights.
Robert Creed? Creed?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And what was the distance?
Laurie Court is where his brother was staying. That's a little bit further away. That's going to be, I'd say, approximately 0.5 to a mile away.
Okay. And ultimately, was there some kind of association with him in St. Petersburg or Pinellas County area?
Yes, ma'am,
Okay.
that's correct.
And that was another location for him?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, State Exhibit 36C. What was the purpose of you creating this map?
This is depicting crudely the video that was obtained in this case and then the path of travel of the suspect vehicle post-homicide.
Do you mind standing up?
Yeah, absolutely.
Can you please tell us that path based on this map?
Yes, ma'am. So you're going to have our homicide scene here. That's going to be the intersection of Florabraska and Highland. The initial video that we have there is a 3000 Highland address. The vehicle then travels northbound. We obtained video here at Tampa Street of the vehicle crossing eastbound over Tampa Street, and then picked up on the Body Parts of America camera here at the next indication of the dot.
Well, let's slow down for a second.
Yes,
Are you
ma'am.
also, have you also indicated the time frames on that map? Right here, like that, 308?
Yeah, the timeframes are there. I'll have to take your word that says 3. It's a
You
little
can't
blurry
see? Okay, let me
but-
see. I can probably do better.
there.
Okay.
Perfect. There we go.
Thank you.
All right.
All right,
Yes, ma'am. So this is going to capture the vehicle and the time frames of the vehicle
okay.
that they are on the video. Again, 3:08 is the time of our homicide. The vehicle then leaves the scene, travels up northbound, then eastbound across Tampa Street. 3:09, again captured again at 3:09 on the Body Parts of America business video, where it cuts northbound through that alleyway, so not going to the main thoroughfare here, but instead cuts through a back alleyway.
Okay.
It then exits out of the alleyway on the north side of it, which is the Adderley address that we have. It continues westbound. The hostel that I spoke about during the testimony is here located. It's on the exit route of the vehicle.
And that's Graham's place, correct?
Correct. Graham's
Okay.
Place Hostel, yes, ma'am. It's captured there. It continues westbound again, where it's the Radiant Church. And then we have video here as well at Adderley. It has like a little jot down on the street, and this is Miss Brown's residence.
Okay.
And then searching a wider scope for video of a vehicle that's consistent with a suspect vehicle is seen crossing over the Rome and Columbus Bridge.
Okay. And then ultimately, it's at Thornton's.
Correct. And the time for here is 3:20 in the a.m.
And is that the location of Thornton's?
No, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Thank you, sir. Indication video, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Publishing that video, which is State Exhibit 19.
Quality is much better than Fulton County, I say that much. You mess up here and there, but not as bad as FC. Oh shit. This is the moment when she got picked up.
I believe your video froze.
It's going,
Is it? Okay.
yeah. I don't know how to fix it. Should I,
Should we want to try and restart it?
you want me to? I'll
Yeah,
try.
because it's just a.
Okay, give me a second.
Yes, ma'am.
Mhm.
Actually, it's
Give me a
froze.
second,
I
please.
just told you.
Let me try it on a different player. Open with. Let's try BLS.
Prosecutors think they know everything, don't they?
Okay.
this is a cold moment, so this is when she got picked up. The car gonna pull in right here, swing around. You know what's crazy about this scene right quick? Why are they showing a ring camera? Ain't this a police light right here? I could have swore this light blinking behind this car. Those are police cameras, right? Don't they supposed to be recording everything right there? That blue light back there blinking? Or are they just faking it? They should have had way clearer shot, license plates and all that from that other camera. Why would they show that one? Look at how this one looked. That's how clear that one up there should have looked. Blinking with them blue lights. Jazzy T, what up, though? Say welcome back to the Copper family. Where's the pop-up? You give me no pop-ups? Yeah. We go one. We take that one. What up, Jazzy T? Appreciate you, family. This is the part we showed yesterday. They go to the car that they was in, pulled up, cut off the lights. This is supposedly when the murder is actually taking place right now. You can't see it, but this is when it's supposed to all be happening. And then he's gonna drive off with his lights off. He's gonna kind of speed off. Lights cut on, then cut off, and then he speed off. But I don't see no flashes though. Not to say it didn't happen there, but you know, I don't see no flashes. Remember, we was looking for them in the YSL case. I don't see the sky light up or nothing. You can see them lights from that headlight. We ain't see this angle yesterday. Didn't show this yesterday either. How they even know what that is? zoomed in on the corner, that's why. That was the cameraman. So I guess what they showing is what they did was they tracked the phone and they used, but no, because I wouldn't have been able to give them no specific streets though. That's crazy. But they supposed to be tracking the phone, and then they went and checked cameras in between those areas, and that's how they got all this footage. Gas station, they tracked it all the way to the gas station. There you go, walking in. Oh, you grab some napkins? Will you just come grab some napkins or something? Oh, you been paying for some gas. They know, nah, this nigga ain't got some gas. That's fucked up. Well, the other dude, what's his name? Robert Creed, allegedly.
Sir, did you, I think you indicated that you spoke to Ronnie Walker on May the 13th of 2022, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And was it recorded?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you since listened to a redacted copy?
Yes, ma'am.
And is it an accurate depiction of what, or indication of what the defendant said to you that day?
Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor, at this time, the state would move into Evidence State Exhibit 39,
No objection.
and the state would be asking for the redaction instruction.
Stay straight
Shout out to
and
today's
ready.
stream sponsors. Laugh now, cry later. TSC, Lord Tat 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 Clouds. Appreciate y'all. Jazzy T.
Members of the jury, you're about to listen to an audio recording. The court instructs you that the recording has been edited to eliminate irrelevant portions that would not add to your understanding of the case. The fact that the recording has been edited should not concern you in any way and must not impact the way you listen to and consider the sentence. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
No, I just got a new phone. I made it like, lost my phone maybe like 2 weeks ago. My original address is 20.
What's the address of the
I don't.
Are you on 26 or are you on 18?
I'm on 18 and 26.
18 to 26. I'll go there. I'll just put your address in. Yeah.
Like what? Like I knew several people that work there.
All right, who works on this cleaning crew there?
The cleaning crew.
Yeah.
I wanted to know who worked for the cleaning crew. I don't know what they do exactly.
Okay. Who wears like the gray scrubs?
The gray scrubs.
Yeah.
I can tell you that they wear different scrubs. I said no. Green scrubs, red scrubs, they wear different stuff.
Okay.
I don't know.
Oh, were you working last Friday?
Yes, I was. I was.
Who got this car last Friday?
That's right.
afternoon time. So
Like when you were at work, what time do you come to work on Friday?
I took at 11 in the morning.
Okay, so when you were at work, who was using your car?
You know one my car's here. My car's parked right here. That's right here.
Somebody used your car on Friday. So it's the same thing, last Friday, so a week ago.
You know
So
what?
if you were working last Friday, then someone come by and ask you to use your car?
You have to not know
it was
that.
at DGH. The car was at DGH.
What time?
3 in the afternoon?
In the afternoon, 3:30ish.
3 in the afternoon on Friday.
Yeah, last Friday.
If my girl, she got work at 4 o'clock. She just came by.
Who's your girl?
She just came by. She
Does
just.
she work at a campus in now?
Yes, but I don't see him paying for it now.
Okay, so when you ask you, you work at She's not in any trouble.
I never lied to you. I don't know nobody. I know several people.
Oh, okay. So what's your girlfriend's name?
Her name is Erica.
Erica what?
Eric Hudson. Yes.
Hudson?
Yes.
Okay. No, she's not in any trouble.
So we're working on homicide.
Who? You on the homicide. With my car. My old phone is, I have a 727, but I have a new number now.
I think we already copied the name because I would potentially take it as evidence.
Oh, you take that too? I just brought that phone.
But if you sign it, give us consent to extract it, we'll extract it, and I'll get back to you tomorrow. You have that cell phone problem?
Yes. I had that back for like a week now. You got my number, 727-401-4279. That's my old number. Yeah, but I'll give it to you. 727-401-7279. That's my old number.
So you have a new number with a new phone?
I have a new number now.
Okay.
Which y'all just took.
Okay, what's the number of that phone?
It's 424-7235.
Is there a passcode or anything on that? Is it open?
It's open. Get my phone. I gave up my old phone number.
No, we're talking about the general hospital.
The general hospital. Well, it's very simple. I'm talking about the general hospital. Did you go there and pick her up on Friday? In that car?
That were it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And her friend was there. Her friend got in the car and was going to drop her friend off at
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, your friend, yeah, that was.
Yeah, so that.
Yeah,
So
your friend.
who else was in the car?
Who else was in the car? Somebody else in the car.
What was Didi? Didi was in the car, I think.
That's
Didi.
the other guy.
That's the guy.
Alright, well, when you got there, where was he sitting in the car?
He was in, I think, this was in the back. I don't. He was in front, then he got in the back because she knocked on my window and said that she, so I respect, let her be in the front.
Okay.
No, I thought it was by myself. What, by myself? No, he was with me. He was with me.
Even associated with you?
Not that I know. I don't.
Okay, how old is he?
My age, I'm 44, so we got to be like 37, 38, somewhere in that age bracket.
Oh, sir, it was a little bit windy there, wasn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. But you just have to take the environment that you have, is that correct?
Correct.
And so you are recording this at, outside?
Correct.
Okay. Your Honor, at this time, the state would move into evidence state exhibit 31C and 31B.
31B.
And
As in
31
boy, and C is in guy. Right?
Yes, yes, Your Honor.
Any objections?
I say what I contend there, Stacy did with 31, 30.
State's publishing 31B.
Yes. You may publish both.
Thank you.
For English, that's for a collect call. Please.
Actually. So, sir, in your work as a detective, a homicide detective, have you had an opportunity to listen to jail calls?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you tell us how jail calls are collected or maintained by the sheriff's office?
Yes, they use a third-party company as inmates call out to whoever. That's documented, and it's linked to the person themselves. So they have to put a passcode in and identify it also themselves via voice. And then a file is created under that person's record. So you can type in anyone who's at the jail who's making calls and obtain their calls out.
Okay.
Before we
And
continue,
sorry,
would you like me to read that instruction again, or is it the fact that?
it does pertain to this, so yes, please.
All right, so I'm going to read that same instruction again, ladies and gentlemen. You're about to listen to an audio recording. The court instructs you that the recording has been edited to eliminate any irrelevant portions that would not aid in your understanding of the case. And the fact that this recording has been edited should not concern you in any way and must not impact the way you listen to and consider this evidence. Thank you.
What? The fact that it's been edited should not impact you anyway. How could it not? What'd you edit?
And for the record, that will be as it pertains to State Exhibit 31B and C.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. And does the jail create records indicating the person who is in custody, the phone number that they're calling, their specific PIN, their name, the date that the phone call was made, the time frame of the phone call, the results as it pertains to whether or not the call was picked up or not, and all that such information?
Yes, ma'am. Let's capture the system.
Okay. And when one goes to the jail and tries to use the phone, is it clear that the calls are recorded? Do you know?
I don't fully know what the message is, but from hearing what we'll hear on the jail call, it should be pretty clear.
Okay. And these jail calls do you have access to them to listen to them?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, publishing 31B.
At the beep, repeat the phrase. With Global Kelly, my voice is my password.
I'm going to tell you my voice is my password.
Please enter the area. Please hold. Please wait while your call is being connected. Please inform your friends and family. They can now leave you voice messages. They will need to know your 9-digit phone ID.
Was it necessary to play all the rings and the intro?
They call from an inmate of the Hillsborough County South and Burke Road Detention Facility. To accept this call, press 0. To refuse this call, hang up or press 1. To prevent calls from this facility, your current balance is $2.26. This call is from a correction facility and is subject to monitoring and recording. Thank you for using Global Tellink.
Hey, Erica. How you doing? Are you alright?
Yeah.
How long have you been on the phone like that, girl?
I'm alright. Resting.
You been running?
I said I'm okay. I'm just resting. Everybody's getting on my nerves. All these calls come to my phone. I don't ever answer my phone. I'll be trying to figure it out.
Oh, see, I thought you could be stressing.
That's about shit. No, okay, well, that's good.
I'm okay, man. I just I was kind of upset last week, you know what I'm saying, when she said that shit about you.
They just need to leave me out of, you know, I moved on with my life.
Yeah, it wasn't back to move on part, Erica.
Tat, you read my mind.
I don't know what got said or what got done. I don't know what occurred. You know what I'm saying? So I just hope that you didn't do that. Because I need to call you. I was trying to call you for a witness, to be my witness. Yeah, I know. That's why I said that I just need you to be my witness, because I always put you back to my witness.
No.
Huh?
Yeah, whatever. This shit
If
is,
you don't show up, huh?
this is sickening. See, I don't know. Now, this Becky go crazy, stay crazy.
I just need you to show up for me, that's all, Reggie.
Texas T, what up though? Texas Cat. Texas Cat, what up
They
though?
need to buy phone.
They give you your phone, so you not a part of the case, but you a part of it because they give you your phone.
Alright, I'm gonna go. My stress up, you know, I'm up in the hospital.
Man, that's crazy.
All of it crazy.
No one in
All
the
of
bushes.
it don't make sense to me.
Like all this stuff, like, it's like, you always against me now,
Because, bitch, you was always against me.
Uh-oh.
How dare you? And that's what you called me for?
No, I'm just like,
I've been nothing but on your motherfucking side the whole goddamn time while I'm over here losing my motherfucking. You have 1 minute remaining. But do anybody give a fuck about how Sweet's doing or how's her mental health? And why she ain't went back to work? Why she don't get along with like people? Her attitude, she can't figure it out. Her life no more. It's over. All because of this shit.
man. You gonna go and get that sleep?
What?
You gonna go and get you like that, baby girl?
You killed my whole soul inside.
So you gonna try to cross me out and get you good back.
Who the fuck is crossing anybody that don't know shit about nothing? What's that cross? Thank you for using Global Telly.
Now, sir, do you recognize the voice associated with that jail call?
Yes, ma'am.
And who are the voices, if you know?
Mr. Ryan Walker and Erica Sweet.
Because you did come in contact with her a number of times, is that correct?
That's correct.
And I'm showing you State Exhibit 31B, the record, the business record certification. What's the phone number associated with that?
305-910-9779.
And what's the date of that jail call?
The
date.
date is February 22nd, 24 at 1500 hours or 3 p.m.
Thank you, sir. And that 305 number, is that the same number that was tracking with the victim's phone on May the 6th of 2022?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Publishing State Exhibit 31C.
For English, press 1. For correct, please.
Well, isn't this a nice
At the beep,
surprise?
repeat the phrase. With global spelling, my voice is my password. Please enter the area code and please hold. Please wait while your call is being connected. Please inform your friends and family. They can now leave you voice messages. They will need to know your 9-digit phone ID. Please hold. Hello, this is a prepaid call from an inmate in Hillsborough County, South and Burke Road Detention Facility. To accept this call, press 0. To refuse this call, your current balance is $7.92. This call is from a correction facility and is subject to monitoring and recording. Thank you for using Global Tellink.
What's their name? Ryan Walker. You don't come up with the 5 years. I'm gonna jump on that shit, Angie. I'm gonna take that shit so fast. It's gonna get that way.
Well, I think we'll do that.
Like I said, everything. Yeah, I got something. They're saying that the DNA was in my heart.
Do you recognize that as another phone call from the jail?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you in the pre-com?
Your Honor, at this time, the state would move into evidence data exhibit 31A. It already has a business record certificate.
Same objection, Your Honor.
Same objection?
Yes, it's the 31A.
Same ruling? All right.
Sir, I'm showing you state exhibit 31A. Can you please look at that?
Yes, ma'am.
What's the phone number associated? What is that?
It's a call log record for outbound calls to 305-910-9779.
And who is making the phone calls?
Mr. Walker's making the phone calls.
Okay. What's the phone number associated with the phone calls he's making?
The 305-910-9779.
And are those phone records
Y'all Diggy in the building. What's good, family?
from the jail system?
Yes, ma'am, it is.
Okay. And what's the time frame of those phone records?
The first one appears to be on 4/5. Sorry, I guess it goes backwards. The first one on this record appears to be from 7/8/2022, and the last one is 4/15/2025.
Thank you. And for the record, are those all phone calls made by Ronnie Walker from the jail to Erica's suite?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Using that 305 number.
Correct.
Thank you.
Like we got some more calls coming up. Y'all hit that like button.
So I wonder, Your Honor, may I have a moment?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Tap in, share with a friend. Let me see. I might just skip some of that. Mike. Nope. Looks like we caught up.
Attorney's approach.
Looks like we caught up. Well, they about to do a bench conference. While they do that, I'll get y'all caught up on what's going on real quick. Give me 1 second.
Welcome to Flesh of the God.
Well, isn't this a nice surprise?
Went step by step.
through the early morning of May 6th, showing Ronnie Walker's car as it drove through the area around Flora, Nebraska, where the body of 14-year-old Nylexia Alexander was found in a vacant field. They said she was shot 3 times in the head.
It was very hard hearing the details of what took place, how it took place, how many times my baby was shot, what stories for me.
Surveillance video from a nearby complex showed her getting into Walker's Ford Fusion at 2:52 and that she was dead by 3:07. They said it appeared Walker and an associate, Robert Quincy Creed, picked her up with the express purpose.
Hold on, they talking. Oh, it's still on mute. Never mind. They talking on mute. It's a... Alright, never mind, my bad.
Of killing her. Prosecutors have not gone public with a suspected motive.
I wake up, I go to sleep, and that's the biggest question I ask myself, why? What did my 14-year-old daughter do so bad to be gunned down?
Prosecutors admitted their case is partly based on circumstantial evidence, which the defense attorney seized on. She said the evidence presented did not show whether it was Walker or Creed who pulled the trigger, that the DNA evidence is faulty, and that Walker's past conviction of manslaughter was based on a guilty plea following a conviction that was vacated because of how he was first identified to detectives.
They keep saying Mr. Walker committed premeditated murder. He killed her. We have not one shred of evidence that he pulled the trigger or was even a principal to this.
Prosecutors said evidence showed blood was on the side Walker was likely driving on. They also said Walker was deceitful in his interviews with them. The judge agreed he was likely one of 2 people in the car when Nylexia was killed. He's being held without bond until trial.
I'm overjoyed. There's no words can even express how I feel, but I'm so happy bond was denied.
Now, whether Ronnie Walker gets out will be up to a jury. Evan Axelbank, Fox 13 News.
Okay, hold on. They went and cut out. I got some more, let me see, we could go into some of that from yesterday. Let me see. Some of the stuff that was happening. Appreciate y'all being here though. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, tap in, share with a friend. This is from earlier while I queue up the one from yesterday. Oh shit. Alright, yeah, let's do this one.
No, sir.
Does it ever say in that article that Daddy Q is a slim dude with a bald head?
No, sir.
Is bald head ever even mentioned in this article?
No, sir.
The article gives a lot more information that you never gave. Wouldn't that be accurate?
Yes, sir.
For instance, the article talks about cell phone records indicating the man's phone twice communicated with Nylexia's phone in the days before she was killed. You don't mention anything about any connection like that, do you?
No, sir.
I'll sustain the objection.
Do you mention anything like that?
No, sir.
Proffer? You had mentioned that she was shot in the cheek. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Did you ever mention that she'd been shot 3 times in her head?
No, sir.
And once in her back?
No, sir.
Looking at chapter 119, on his face, they should have never been given anything outside of the pleadings, which they could have got from the court. But the evidence, there's no justification for it.
Hold on, family. We got some breaking with the YNW Melly. We got some breaking in.
Judge, and there's no justification for John Phillips then taking that evidence and publishing it on his Twitter account. I would ask that, I need Mr. Phillips to basically testify, so I could proffer what's in this letter. I think we need Mr. Phillips here to tell us who exactly in the state attorney's office did he make this agreement with, because that's unclear. And I think we need to clearly know what steps the state attorney took in making sure that the evidence was not released, and what steps the state attorney took in deciding what was going to be provided to them, specifically under Chapter 119, because I believe we have a violation here.
So, listen, I'm gonna hear what Mr. Klinger has to say, but say I agree. Why should this be in front of Judge State?
I'm gonna start a poll. See which one y'all want to do.
In this case that you're alleging was violative of the rule.
Because it's this case that the state attorney is part of, it's this case that we have
Well, I'm
the
gonna talk to
Sixth
the state
Amendment
attorney, but
interest.
how do I get to Mr. Phillips? He's not part of it. You're talking to me about he violated an order in CAC 20-17725. I'm not saying whether he did or whether he didn't, but let's say he did. That's in the purview of Judge Davis, right?
Mr. My co-counsel's reminding me that at hearing, we thought you had directed the state attorney to have Mr. Phillips here, and it was agreed that he would be here.
I asked if anyone put him on notice, but you're asking for a rule to show cause. It's no different than if a witness fails to appear at a deposition, you have to subpoena. That's why over there in front of Judge Davis is different than over here. But you're talking about a violation of a rule that was signed, an order that's signed in the civil case. But, all right, pause on that. Go ahead, Mr. Klinger. Your response, you don't represent Mr. Phillips, but only as it relates to the state attorney.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Good morning, sir. First of all, to answer the question that defense counsel has posed, I am the one who negotiated with the two civil attorneys on how to handle their voluminous request for public record. Now, at the top of page 3 of my response is a litany of Florida statutes and case law, and they basically stand for the fact that once discovery is given out in the case, that discovery becomes a public record subject to exemptions and redactions. So,
Man, this boy been in jail, what, 5 years? They still talking about discovery? What the hell? What she say? What the Melly?
in other words, in the statute actually to the effect of paperwork given to the defendant, papers given to the defendant are public record. So the state being faced with a huge amount of discovery that the defense needed because the trial that had been set earlier this year, I believe that one was set, first it was set this summer, and then maybe it was set for last winter, and they needed their discovery, or they needed at least the public records from the state. We were honest with them. We said it would take a very long time because there's thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of pages of discovery, especially with the phone calls that have to be reviewed. So following a procedure that we used in State versus Nicholas Cruz and State versus Scott Peterson, two other cases in this courthouse that had enormous amounts of discovery, we negotiated with the civil attorneys that they would be able to get the discovery unredacted, but it would have to be under protective order. It's not going out to the public. It stays within the people working with the attorneys' firms, the families, and the people in the courtroom. That it had to be protected, just as it was in Peterson and as it was in Cruz. And that was the gist of our. So I think at that point, what happens next with the agreement, how it gets handled, how it comes to why Judge Rodriguez later on signs an order saying that the defense motion to strike the original order from former Judge Lynn. Whether or not the orders were violated. When it comes to this court, and you're looking at the state attorney's office did absolutely nothing to put anything out to the public. It was supposed to be understood, protectable. Autopsy photographs. Autopsy photographs are special, and so when you look at the entire package that comes from the MD's office, that never went out. It didn't go out. It did go out in discovery to the defense, but it did not go out as a public record, and it did not go out underneath that protected order. Although I can say with 100% certainty, again, something maybe in the civil court, Mr. Phillips will have to address. There is a investigative report inside the discovery of this case that was done by Mr. Radley Ashworth, lead detective Y, wherein they put together a recreation of the crime scene and how the bullets were shot, who had to beware in order for the bullets to go in whatever direction, or if they hit from whatever direction. And it appears that some of those autopsy reports autopsy pictures, made it into that particular document. And that was under the protective order. So, again, I think that is why this is better off being heard in the civil court and flushed out as to why that what Ms. Brady presented, the online, I'm sorry, what it is why it was online. I don't see how the state should be held, Mr. Breyer or the office or myself should be held accountable for something that we did everything we could to prevent from happening.
May I respond? So what I was looking for under Chapter 119, and thanks Mr. Klinger for letting me know, I'm going to call Mr. Klinger at the next hearing when Mr. Phillips is here. If they authored this agreement, and his argument is that we had to turn this over pursuant to 119. So again, going to 119, it's under here, I believe it's subsection 5D, goes on to talk about what active is. So you go to the subsection of 2, criminal investigation information shall be considered active as long as related to an ongoing investigation, which is continuing with a reasonable good faith anticipation of securing an arrest or prosecution in the foreseeable future. In addition, criminal intelligence and criminal investigative information shall be considered active while such information is directly related to pending prosecution or appeals. That's it. That's the entire file that the state attorney has that wasn't published. It was protected, it was exempt, but under here, they prepare an order saying Chapter 119, this is what we're going by, but then they violate what Chapter 119 says is exempt. And why it's here? Because it is the state attorney's office. Why it's here? Because we are dealing with a death penalty case. All right, so there should be these protections to things like the Sixth Amendment, the right to a fair trial. You didn't have to sit through the jury selection, Judge. That's what you haven't had to deal with in this case. And one of our biggest problems in this case is people knowing who he is. We have sat through hundreds of jurors, and they've read something, they've seen something on the news, or they've heard his music, and we're just going through them. So to be sitting here on a retrial, faced with the fact that there was so much media attention to the first trial, but now I have a civil attorney taking further steps just to publish evidence and argue with people about it. A fair trial is what I'm asking for my client, and that's what I'm asking for in this courtroom, because you do have jurisdiction over the state attorney. The civil attorney doesn't. The civil judge doesn't. Jurisdiction over the state attorney. Mr. Klinger just submitted he was the attorney that wrote up this agreement and negotiated with them. So yeah, we need to question Mr. Klinger why he turned this over in light of 119 saying, well, there's a pending trial, everything's exempt.
So what relief are you seeking with the state?
I would ask for the same rule to show cause of why they're not in contempt of Chapter 119 and in contempt of the United States Constitution and my rights. My client's right to a fair and impartial trial.
There's two ways I get the whole thing on contempt. 3.830, that's direct criminal contempt. That has to happen in my presence. That has to happen. And 3.840, indirect criminal.
This dude will never
No
have
one
a
asked me for an order for anything. Has anyone sought an order in the criminal case saying we don't want any of this released? Period. We want you to enforce 119, and we got a civil judge who's entering orders, that shouldn't be ordering, and judge, we want you to shut it down. Can anybody do that?
So you're asking us, we have notice of this. So you're asking me something, did I do something?
I have notice of it. It says Jamel Demons is a defendant in this case. Who's involved?
And the civil attorney didn't get notice of it. That is what I attached, and I could not.
So if something's happening in a civil case, rules are being broken in a civil case, if an order that a circuit judge entered, now it's Judge Davis, okay, Division 14, in a civil case, you have to go to that judge for all the reasons. So if someone hasn't complied with the orders, and if what you're telling me is true, I don't have any evidence in front of me today, I don't have anything about what was or what wasn't posted on social media. I'm sure you're telling me the truth, but there's no evidence of record in my case of that. But if what you're proposing is true, it could very well be a violation of this order that was entered on
I'm not saying they violated that order.
well, the order says that this is all confidential except for the 9 parties listed in the order, and social media is not one of the 9 parties, so sounds to me like it is, but you gotta go see Judge Davis about that. I didn't order anybody to do anything.
So if I may, I believe my motion is in order for a rule to show cause against the state attorney and John Phillips. But I was asking for under that rule, initially under indirect, because I have to ask the court for it, which would then, I would then get the order under that rule, laying out the different things, and then I would have to serve it on both Mr. Phillips and
So
them.
you're telling me what you're alleging they violated is the Constitution and the bar rule?
2 bar rules, Judge, in the publication, but that's with Mr. Phillips, all right? That's
What are
right.
you saying to the state attorney?
The state attorney, the simple agreeing.
You serve a witness for a death vote. They don't come to the death vote. You come and say, Judge, I want to order to show cause. Tell the person, come to the court and tell me, why didn't you answer the subpoena? Why didn't you come to court? So what is it that you want the order to show cause?
I want
to
to
say
order
to the state?
to show cause against the state of why they negotiated an agreement in violation of Chapter 119, turning over confidential information in this file while a death penalty trial was pending.
That's what Judge Davis.
But then he's going to say he doesn't have jurisdiction over the state attorney.
I'm not going to speak to another circuit judge. You're asking me to conduct a contempt hearing based on a violation of an order that another circuit judge entered. So you got to go talk to that.
Because how's y'all still ruling on this shit and the judge didn't already made a ruling on it, and now they still trying to violate it and trying to make it like it's a new thing that never happened? How the heck, what the hell?
As far as a violation of the bar rules, that's not incumbent on me to investigate or anyone else. Anybody can file a bar complaint. If you all think that the state attorney's office has violated the bar rules, we'll file a bar complaint. You can do that today.
We take a 5-minute recess.
Sure. 5-minute recess. Let me know when you're ready to go back on the record. Yes, ma'am.
So, in light of what Mr. Klinger just proffered outside.
Wait.
Oh, sorry.
Dang, she wasn't gonna wait for her client to come in? You wasn't gonna wait for Melly?
In light of what Mr. Klinger proffered outside, I would withdraw, I guess, a contempt against the state. I rule to show cause against the state. I would move to continue this hearing so that we could do 2 things: depose Mr. Phillips and subpoena him for the hearing. I know we're coming back, I believe, July 9th. The court could put time there or give another date to continue this.
Well, Mr. Klinger, I presume you have no objection to my withdrawal of the motion that's related to the state. No. Is there any position that to be able to consider?
As was cited in my response, I would just
This is what I'm going to do. Okay, and again, first.
All right, line.
I appreciate the parties talking it over, and I appreciate the professionalism as well. Based on the agreement of the parties on the written order today, the defense is withdrawing the motion for order to cause as relates to the attorney Carol S. Friday. So it's 2 separate orders, and then an order after that. that they were drawing a motion for order to show cause against the offices for our state attorney, Dale Esquire, stated in the court. As to the pending motion against John Phillips, respectfully, I'm going to deny it without prejudice for you to address it in front of Judge Davis in case number 20, CAC 20-17706. The allegations are a violation of a confidentiality/protective order that was entered in that case. The attorney is representing one of the parties in that case. If the allegations turn out to be true, it certainly could be a violation of that court order. Whether or not that rises to the level of contempt, whether or not that rises to the level of violation of the rules regulating the court of law, that's going to be Judge Davis' decision. If someone wants me to enter some type of protective order with regards to the criminal case, I could only file a written motion requesting whatever it is they want to request. I can hear that the next time we're all together, which is July 9th, 3 o'clock. Since I have you here, I don't have everybody here, but I may be able to start that hearing earlier in the day if you all want me to, and probably can briefly, because jury selection in the capital case is going right now. It's not be on that day, it's going to be on July 10th. But right now, it remains set July 9th. That's the defense motion for rehearing, as to my ruling, as to the renewed motion for bond, as well as the pending defense motion for order to show cause regarding the law enforcement officers who can only answer questions and depositions, and whatever other matter here. Mr. Devins will remain set for trial, September the 10th. There's the two sub-orders that they got right now. Thank you.
So Judge, the defense really revealed earlier on the night.
I mean, I know we need Mr. Collins, we need Mr. Griffiths, but if you all get together and tell me that you want to come at 9:30 in the morning instead, we just check that. I know we're not going to have jurors here that day. You can do it at 9:30 in the morning, I can give you the whole day if you want, but if all the lawyers agree, if you would just send an email to my office telling us that you all agree, then we'll send you new notices, we'll move it on July 9th at 3 o'clock to 9:30. That's it? State, anything else I can do for you this morning?
No, thank you.
Is there anything I can do for you this morning?
Thank you, Judge.
Okay, so, quick recess, I think my next hearing is at 10 o'clock, so we'll be in quick recess. Madam Court, not on the record. Mr. Haddad, anything I do for you this morning? No, sir, I'm here. I was early. Thank you.
Well. There's that little bit. Hold on, we could get back where we was. This is old boy from yesterday. And that's crazy. So he got a court date coming up July 9th. And then you see how like every time you got to schedule another court date, that's like another month. And like you already been there for years and years. They done already had mistrials and they still treating you like crazy. And they still doing shady tactics. That's what make it worse. They still doing shady on top of the treatment. Man. Here go old boy from this is Robert Creed from the Ronnie Walker murder trial.
To the side.
Okay. And what happened?
I heard a gunshot.
Okay. And what happened when you heard that gunshot?
I jumped. When I jumped, I looked. I seen her holding I looked in the bike seat. I seen her holding like her chest, like.
And she's like this, kind of with both hands, where the record reflects he's putting both hands over his chest.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And then what happened?
He kept telling her to get out my car, so she got out the driver's side, the passenger, the bike seat, driver's side.
She got out on her own?
Yes, sir.
Did you see the gun in Ronnie's hand
sir.
at that point?
Yes, sir.
What type of gun was it?
It was like a chrome 9mm or something.
So it's chrome or silver or
Yeah.
some bright, kind of bright?
Yes, sir.
After she gets out of the car, what happens?
He get out.
He got out too?
Yes, sir.
Did you ever get out?
No, sir.
After you get out, what happens?
I heard 2 more gunshots.
Just 2?
Yes, sir.
And did you see her get shot?
No, I didn't physically see it, but I know he did it.
Because you could hear the gunshots?
Yes, sir.
Had she left her door open?
Probably so.
Okay. And so you hear those 2 gunshots. You don't see the shooting.
No.
But you hear them.
Yes, sir.
And then what happens?
He jumped back in the car and pulled off.
Okay. When he jumped back in the car, did he say anything to you?
Telling me, don't say nothing, don't tell nobody, or he'll gonna kill me too.
And he told you that?
Yes, sir.
So he was threatening you at that point?
Yes, sir.
Were you scared?
Yes, sir.
All right. And what happened at that point?
He went back to he went to a gas station.
So y'all drove around and went to a gas station?
Yes, sir.
Do you remember what the gas station was or anything?
I don't remember.
All right. I'm going to show you what's marked as states E1. Do you see that person?
Yes, sir.
Who is that?
That's Ronnie.
Was that what he was wearing that night?
Yes, sir.
That jacket?
Yes, sir.
And the shoes?
Yes, sir.
Is that the gas station that you all went to?
Yes, sir.
And E4, is that him?
Yes, sir.
Is that same night?
Yes, sir.
Was this soon after you all, or soon after he had shot Nylexia Alexander?
Yes, sir.
And is that you?
Yes, sir.
Same gas station?
Yes, sir.
Same night?
Yes, sir.
Did and you got out of the passenger side?
Yes, sir.
Why didn't you run at that point?
I was scared.
I was scared. That's why he asked you, why didn't you run? If you was scared, why you didn't run? I'm sorry to laugh at this. This shit ain't funny, man.
What happened at that point?
We went by to his girlfriend's house.
In Erica Sweet's house?
Yes, sir.
And what happened when you got back there?
I was sitting on the couch. He kept walking back and forth to the window, pacing, looking out the window.
What, does he saying anything?
Saying, don't tell nobody what he did.
Okay. And you were just sitting there, and this was in Erica Sweet's house?
Yes, sir.
All right. Did you see Erica at that point?
No, sir.
The next day, you're seeing, or I believe it's you, the next day, did you go to the Tampa General Hospital?
I don't remember.
You don't remember? If there's video showing you getting out of the passenger car the next day at the Tampa General Hospital, would you doubt that?
No, sir.
All right. Do you remember riding at some point with
Yes, sir.
Ronnie Walker to Tampa General Hospital?
Yes, sir.
Do you remember why you were going there?
To pick his girlfriend up.
Okay. All right. When did you finally leave Ronnie Walker? When did you finally separate?
When my girl finally answered the phone and came and got me from my brother's house.
Your girl answered the phone from your brother's house?
No, from my cell phone.
Oh, okay. And so who came and got you?
My girl.
Your girl came and got you?
Yes, sir.
Were you still at Erica Sweet's house at that time?
No, I had on left.
Where did you go?
I went back to my brother's house.
To your brother's house?
Yeah.
All right. And when your girlfriend came and got you, did you go back to St. Pete?
Yes, sir.
All right. Did you tell anyone what happened?
No, sir.
Why not?
Because I was scared.
Did there come a time when you talked to police?
Yes, sir.
When was that?
When
If you remember.
I had got a phone call from my cousin, and he said the police were looking for me.
All right. Were you still in St. Petersburg when that happened?
No, I was at my brother's house in Jackson Heights Apartments.
Okay, you were at Jackson Heights apartment. Okay. And so you get notifications the police are looking for you. What do?
I called my nephew, and he came to pick me up and took me on to the police precinct.
Okay. And did you go there and meet with detectives?
Yes, sir.
Did you tell them the very first time that you met with them that you knew what happened?
No, sir.
All right. But you went down there voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
Why didn't you tell them when you first saw them what happened?
I was scared.
Okay, you were scared?
Yes, sir.
Did you talk to them again at a later time?
Yes, sir.
And on that second time that you talked to them, did you in fact at that time let them know that you did know about the case and that you did know Ronnie Walker had killed her?
Yes, sir.
Had Ronnie Walker already been arrested by that time?
I think so, yes, sir.
After this happened, did you talk to Ronnie Walker anytime about this case, about what happened?
When I was in jail, he used to write me little notes.
Okay. What did the notes say?
Said the police violated my rights, and don't tell what he did that night. He facing the death penalty.
And he would send you these notes in jail?
Yes, sir.
All right. Other than that, you have not communicated with him one-on-one, have you?
No, sir.
All right. Has he made any threats to you since then, other than those notes?
No, sir. Besides, like, the last time I seen him in court, he would threaten me.
What did he say to you?
Well, he would, like, go home and die.
Go home and die?
Yes, sir.
Now, Mr. Creed, there are some phone calls that appear to take place within a short period of time between your phone and that of Nylexia Alexander. Did you make those calls?
No, sir.
Did you know Nylexia Alexander?
No, sir.
Do you have any idea how those phone numbers or phone calls might have taken place?
I heard through a friend that.
Objection to hearsay.
Did you ever lend your phone out?
Yes, sir.
Did you sometimes lend your phone out to a friend who had a young girl who knew Nylexia?
Yes, sir.
Did Ronnie Walker borrow your phone sometimes?
Yes, sir.
Did you often just kind of let anyone use your phone, whoever needed to use your phone?
Yes, sir.
All right. And when you got in the car that night, did you know what Ronnie Walker was planning to do?
No, sir.
Did you know that street that he turned down?
No, sir.
Did you know he had a gun with him?
No, sir.
Mr. Creed, did you kill Nylexia Alexander?
No, sir.
Did Ronnie Walker kill Nylexia Alexander?
Yes, sir.
Judgment, if I may have a moment.
So here's some of
A few more questions before I sit down.
Let me let them finish, and then we're gonna go to where we left off yesterday.
Do you know an individual by the name of Day Day?
Oh, yes, sir.
Okay, who is that?
His name David White.
David White? Okay. Do you know a Stanley Wilson?
No, sir.
Have you ever been convicted of a felony?
Yes, sir.
How many times?
21 times.
Did you drive at all that night?
No, sir.
Have you ever been convicted of a felony?
Yes, sir.
How many times?
21 times.
Did you drive at all that night?
No, sir.
Convicted for 21 felonies.
Have you ever driven Ronnie Walker's car?
No, sir.
You were afraid of him. Why are you telling the truth now? If you lied back then, why are you telling the truth now?
Because I didn't do anything.
Young 21.
And that cousin you asked Nylexia to call, who was that?
My cousin. First cousin.
What's his name?
Robert Parker.
Robert Parker, okay. Had that weapon, do you know whatever happened to that weapon?
No, sir.
Did you ever see Ronnie Walker get rid of that weapon?
No, sir.
Did you ever get rid of that weapon?
No, sir.
And again, you were at that Thornton's and you didn't run. Why is that?
I was scared.
All right. You knew Ronnie Walker, knew where you lived, and knows your friends and family, correct?
Yes, sir.
Did Ronnie Walker know you had a girlfriend in St. Petersburg?
Yes, sir.
So Ronnie Walker knew a lot about your life and where you lived and where you went, right?
Yes, sir.
One moment, Judge.
Yes, sir.
Turn your dirt.
And real quick, Day Day, the man you've just talked about, was he ever in the car with you all that night?
No, sir.
In fact, was anyone else in the car with you all that night other than you, Ronnie Walker, and Nylexia Alexander?
No, sir.
Nobody else was?
Nobody else.
Okay. Did you all stop anywhere else along the way before Thornton's, before you went to that gas station?
This stone 22nd and Martin Luther King, where he bought them something to drink.
Right, where you bought the drinks. But after?
No, sir.
Okay, you all just drove around and went straight to Thornton's. Did you all ever go back to the house and then go out to Thornton's?
No, sir.
You continued to drive the whole time?
He went from where he did that murder to that gas station, from that gas station back to his girlfriend's house.
And you didn't stop anywhere else along the way?
No, sir.
All right, and you never saw him get rid of the gun?
No, sir.
And you never saw him?
Objection leading.
And you never saw him get rid of the gun, and did you ever see him get rid of anything else?
No, sir.
I'm going to ask you again, Mr. Creed, did you have anything to do with Nylexia Alexander being killed?
No, sir.
And it's your testimony today, you saw Ronnie Walker shoot Nylexia Alexander.
Objection to leading.
Is that your testimony today? You saw him shoot her?
Yes, sir.
Nothing further, Judge.
Well, isn't this a nice surprise?
Court, yes, it was Detective Whelan and Detective Nightlinger that were both out there in tandem.
And so you were directed then at some point to collect these articles of clothing, including the shorts that we just saw in State's Exhibit 27, correct?
Yes.
And you mentioned that you visually examined them for potential blood. Did you do any alternative light source testing or blue star testing on the shorts?
We'll use our flashlight and kind of side light it, which is an oblique lighting. It's a technique that would just, enhance if we saw anything there. There was nothing just visually to the eye, and if we were to blue star it, we could have potentially diluted anything. So at that point in time, it wouldn't have behooved us to do that, but no, nothing was noted.
So could have diluted anything. Does that mean like any kind of further processing that could have been done with the shorts?
Not seeing something on, not seeing a suspected blood on there. If we did spray it and there was potentially suspected blood, at that point in time, I don't have the capacity to necessarily test further because it might have diluted it. So at that point in time, our best forth for evidence was to go ahead and package it, and then if they wanted to do something with it later, they could have, meaning the detectives.
Right. If the detectives wanted any further testing on it, then those shorts were available to them. They could have sent those off for additional testing.
Correct.
You're not part of that decision-making process.
No, ma'am.
Okay. Were you ever requested to do any sort of swabbing for gunshot residue on the clothing?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Can I have a moment, please, Harold?
Yes, ma'am.
Nothing else. Thank you, ma'am.
Any redirect?
So would that be residue?
In our agency on a person a few months ago.
So gunshot residue, you hear about it a lot on TV and stuff, but it's not something that's commonly done. Would that be accurate?
Objection to leaving?
Is it commonly done?
It is not.
All right. All right, nothing further, Judge.
All right, may this witness be excused?
Full name for Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Can you please state your full name for the record?
Sure, it's Charles Feldman.
And sir, where do you work?
I'm a sergeant with the Tampa Police Department.
How long have you worked at the Tampa Police Department?
12 years.
And what does your job currently entail?
I'm a sergeant over the Marine Unit, Aviation Unit, and Dive Team.
What does your job description pertain to?
Sure, so I mean there's a few different units there, but full-time I supervise the Marine Unit. I coordinate events, operations, maintenance, training, do the same thing on the Aviation Unit. And then I also supervise the Dive Team, which is a collateral duty. Essentially, divers from all over the Tampa Police Department do that as a part-time job. So we're on call 24/7, 365. We can get called out for anything in water, dive related. We do subsurface and on the surface water operations.
Okay. And sir, do you have any prior law enforcement experience?
Yes, I was a police officer at the Vero Beach Police Department for about 2 years.
What did your God bless you. What did your job entail there?
I was a patrol officer.
Okay. So I'd like to turn your attention to the time frame of August of 2022. Were you working in that time frame?
Yes, ma'am.
Were you in the same capacity that you are in now?
No, at that time I was a detective assigned to our District 1 Detective Division, and I was also still supervising the dive team.
Okay. Well, at some point, were you asked or tasked to do something by Detective Wheeland?
Yes, I was.
What were you asked to do?
So I was given information that they believed that a firearm was possibly thrown off of the Hillsborough Avenue Bridge into the Hillsborough River for a case that had occurred a few months prior. The details of where the firearm were somewhat vague. However, it was described that they believed it was on the eastbound lanes going over the bridge, and that the firearm was discarded in an unknown location, either on the north or south of that bridge.
Okay. So you just had vague information, but the gun could possibly be in the water?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And when you receive this type of information, do you normally just go out and set up a dive and then go look for items, or was this a unique situation?
I mean, I wouldn't say this is unique to any other call that I've had, but prior to putting together an operation for a dive, one of the first things that I'll do is I'll respond to the location to survey the site to determine what the plan should be going forward to conduct an effective search in that area.
Okay, and did you do that in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Had this been, I guess what I'm trying to find out is, had this been not a homicide, would you, and given the time frame in that the homicide occurred May of 2022, and you get word of this in about August, would you have still done the dive?
Most likely not.
Okay. So now, turning your attention to August the 4th of 2022, did you take any action as it pertains to this case?
Yeah, so on August 4th, I did put together an operation for August 4th. Myself and 5 other divers responded out to the Hillsborough Avenue Bridge, and we did start a search for the firearm.
How do you go about even beginning to do this process?
So, first of all, we have to determine, as somebody, this is a fairly large area. The bridge itself spans about 100 yards, and we don't know if it's thrown off the north side or the south side. On the north side of the bridge, there's a gap of about 40 feet in between the eastbound lanes and the westbound lanes that something could be thrown off the bridge. And on the south side, it's just wide open. Something could be thrown off. So we have to determine how far we think somebody would be able to throw an item off the bridge while they were moving in a car, which is the information that we got. And then we set up a search pattern based off of that. So the way that we conduct the search is called the Jack Stay search pattern. Essentially what happens is you take a weight, a large heavy object, weighs about 20 pounds, and then you take another weight, same object, and it's connected with a rope or a line connects it. And once we determine what the search area is going to be for that dive, 2 divers will go into the water on scuba gear, and they're both going to be connected to that line, and they're going to swim from one weight on the line. So one hand is going to be holding the line, and they're going to swim from one weight to the other weight, and they're going to be searching that area. Once they get to the weight, depending on the visibility or depending on what they're looking for, in this case a firearm, which is a fairly small object, they're going to move the weight relative to what they're looking for in the visibility. So in this case, the visibility ranged from anywhere from 0 feet, so 0 visibility, to about 5 feet of visibility, and they're going to move that weight based off of what their visibility is. So in this case, if you're in 0 feet of visibility, you're going to move it about 1 foot. If you're in 5 feet of visibility, you're probably going to move that closer to 4 or 5 feet. Once they move it, they're going to swim back down the line, and once they get to the next.
So for those who don't know, this is the part that we didn't show yesterday. These are the only parts we didn't show. Just getting it in there. What up, No One? I see you. Appreciate you, family.
Next weight, they're going to move it
Just
again.
getting us,
They're going to swim to the other weight.
getting us all the way caught up.
They're going to move it again. So they're essentially zigzagging our search area. The benefit to this search is that they're overlapping the search area by zigzagging it. And with 2 divers there's 2 divers so that one, they can safety each other just in case there's an underwater emergency. They can help each other out. But another benefit that happens is that they're overlapping each other's search patterns as well. So not only is the search pattern itself overlapping itself, but the divers are overlapping each other as well. So it makes it an effective search pattern.
Okay. So how many divers total went out on August the 4th of 2022?
There were 6 of us.
Okay. And how long were you out there for?
We were out there for about 5 or 6 hours on that day.
And what amount of distance did you cover?
So essentially, you're talking about the bridge is about 100 yards. You're talking almost 200 yards linear of search area. And that line is 50 feet. So we're searching from 10 feet under the bridge to 40 feet outside of the bridge on both sides of that bridge. And we split the search area into 6 different areas. That day on August 4th, we searched what we thought and I thought would be the most likely place somebody would throw an object off of the bridge would be center span, which is the deepest area. We searched both sides of the bridge in the center span, and then we also searched the northwest side of the bridge on that date.
Okay. And did you find anything?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Based on that, did you continue a search on another day? Did you or your team continue a search on another day?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, what day was that?
August 12th.
And how many people went out for that search?
6 as well on that date.
How long was that search?
about the same time frame, about 5 hours.
Okay. And was this new area or ground, or are you searching the same location that you searched on August the 4th?
Same bridge, but we're not searching the same areas. So like I said, we split it into 6 different areas. On August 12th, we were able to complete the search of 2 more of those areas to complete five of the 6 areas.
And to be clear, you were the one who organized both dives on
Yes.
August the 4th and August the 12th?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, on August the 16th, based on, did you find anything on August the 12th, actually?
No, ma'am.
Okay. And based on that, did you and the team, or did the team go out again as it pertains to this case?
Yes, we did.
Okay. Did you set up that team?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And is there someone who determines the location to go to and how the dive would take place?
Me.
That would be you?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you do that on August the 16th of 2022?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Were you able to attend the dive?
On that date, I did not attend it.
Do they answer to you after the dive, or what's the protocol where that is concerned?
They essentially report to me before, during, and after the dive. So even if I can't be on scene of a specific operation, I'm consistently updated.
So you are still the supervising sergeant?
Yes, ma'am.
On the case, okay. And with this dive, are we talking about yet a new location?
Correct.
Underwater?
This would be the 6th area out of the 6 grids that we broke it up into.
And did you find anything of evidentiary value?
No, ma'am.
Did you follow protocol in this case?
Yes.
Is there a specific SOP for these type of cases?
Yeah, we have IDPs within our dive team, but
Okay.
a lot of it falls under just proper dive protocols.
Okay. And did you complete your dive control sheets?
Yes, we did.
And can you tell us what that is?
Yeah, sure. So for any dive that we do, we complete sheets that document where we're diving, what depths we're diving at, what we're looking for, exactly what time every single diver went into the water, what their air pressure was when they went into the water, same time and air pressure when they got out of the water. We document what the surface conditions were, what the water temperature was, what the air temperature was, and all of that is just to ensure that we are checking every box for the case, and some of it also goes into safety in terms of time in the water and time out of the water with air pressures.
Okay. On August the 16th of 2022, did you find the firearm?
No, ma'am.
Okay. And sir, are there certain things that can determine the likelihood of success for a dive such as this?
Yes.
Can you tell us what those things are?
Sure. So, I mean, as I stated earlier, the conditions diving underwater in this area specifically can change, and we were diving in anything from 0 visibility to 5 feet of visibility. So at some points during this dive, the bottom is silty. When you're diving those areas, it literally becomes 0 visibility, can't see your hand in front of your face. So one of the huge things that makes an impact on whether we're going to find an object or not is called the last seen point. So our preference is always to have somebody who has seen an item go into the water, give us an exact location, and still it can be challenging to find that item. In this case, we did not have that, and we also had a 3-month time delay. And there are factors, there's so many variables that can affect the dive in a 3-month time period. There's weather systems that come through. You have currents. This is a tidal area, so you have currents that are incoming and outcoming. You have a dam that opens up near 40th Street. That affects the current. There's wildlife in the Hillsborough River. There's possibilities that could affect the location of an item. And with a 3-month time frame, it's almost impossible to predict if those variables would have affected where this evidence would be.
Now, sir, prior to this or subsequent, have you dived that same location for items of evidence?
I don't know if I've dove that specific spot. No, I don't.
How
think
about
so.
the Hillsborough River?
Yes.
Okay, about how many times?
50.
And in the 50 times, what's the percentage of you actually finding an item that was purported to have been discarded?
I would say we find an item on probably 70% of our dives.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't mean that there's always something there, though.
Okay. You find an item?
An item that we're looking for.
Okay. in approximately 70%, and in most cases are those a case in which you know the general area of where the item was discarded?
Yes, those are much more specific details. Just occurred, we have a witness, that drastically increases our likelihood of being successful.
In the time that you've been doing this work, about what percentage of times you find an item you're looking for, in which you have had a lapse of about 3 months? And similar conditions as this?
Very low, probably less than 5%, if not lower than that.
Okay. I would like to show you what has been pre-marked as 36E. Do you recognize this?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, how do you recognize it?
It is a diagram that I created.
Your Honor, at this time, the state would move into evidence data exhibit 36E.
No objection. Admitted as 36E.
Yes, let's see about this. Now, sir, I'm showing you what is in evidence as 36E. Can you tell us, using this diagram, the areas, well, you created this, right?
Yes.
Specifically for this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you tell us what you were trying to document as you created this?
Yeah, sure. So this is a Google image of the Hillsborough Avenue Bridge right at the Hillsborough River. And what this documents, it's not exact, it's estimate, but it documents the different search areas and the dates that we completed the searches. So the 2 boxes in the middle would be the center span of the bridge. That's where
do you mind standing up
sure.
and kind of
so,
pointing us in the directions?
So this is search area number 1, search area number 2. These are both completed on August the 4th. This is the center span of the bridge where the channel is. That would be where I would think the highest likelihood of the evidence would be located. From there, we move to search area number 3. These 3 boxes or rectangles were completed on August the 4th. On August the 12th, these areas, these 2 rectangles or boxes were completed. And then August the 16th, these areas were completed. In addition, this shoreline on this side was searched with a metal detector just due to the depths of it and limited visibility. Nothing was located in the shoreline as well. You can see that the boxes kind of go past the bridge. So we had a 50-foot search line. Essentially, we're swimming 50 feet this way, 50 feet that way, 50 feet this way, etc., all the way across. The reason that we start under the bridge about 10 feet is because when the item hits the water, it has the ability to move based on what the depth is. So the maximum depth in this location is right about 10 feet, depending on the tides. I wanted to ensure that if somebody dropped the firearm off the bridge, let's say they were not moving in a car, they just stood on the side of the bridge and dropped the firearm off the side of the bridge, it could potentially move 10 feet in any direction. So I wanted to ensure that we were completing a thorough search under the bridge 10 feet, 40 feet out off the bridge to make sure that wherever this firearm could have been thrown, we would be searching it.
Okay. All right, thank you. Your Honor, may I have a moment?
Ross?
Ma'am?
Tampa Police Department.
Your full name for the record?
Nicole Sackrider.
And ma'am, where do you work?
Tampa Police Department.
How long have you worked?
Oh, there she go. That's what they was talking about yesterday. That's her, Nicole Sackrider. That's the Sackrider.
There.
12 years.
What does your job entail?
I'm a detective right now.
Okay. And as a detective, you're a detective in the homicide unit?
Not currently.
Okay. Back in May of 2022, were you a detective in the homicide unit?
Yes, I was.
And are there specific functions that go with that?
Yes.
Can you tell us what your job entailed?
Nah, he didn't accomplish nothing. He was pretty much on the stand for nothing, just wasting time.
We get called out after a homicide occurs, and we try to investigate from the beginning. If we get notified right away, investigate the homicide from the beginning to the end of the investigation.
Are different assignments given to the homicide detectives in the unit?
Yes, we have different assignments for different cases.
Okay. Well, I'd like to turn your attention to May the 6th, 2022. Were you working that day?
Yes, I was.
Did you respond to a particular location?
Yes.
Where did you respond to?
It was on, I believe it was 100 West Block of Flora Braska Avenue. It's a dead-end street.
Is that in Hillsborough County?
Yes, it is.
Why did you respond to that location?
My Sergeant Lipple, called me. It was about a little after 4 in the morning and stated that the homicide had just occurred and requested I respond to the scene.
Okay. And did you in fact respond as soon as possible?
Yes, I did.
What time did you get to the scene?
About 5:16 in the morning, so about 45 minutes after my call.
And when you arrived on scene, what did you observe?
There were already officers on scene. They had crime scene tape around the perimeter to make sure that no one goes in or out to contain the scene, and there were other supervisors and officers on scene as well.
Okay. And the moment you get to the scene, or even before, are you given specific assignments?
Yes, we are.
Were you given a specific assignment for this particular case?
Yes.
What was your assignment?
I was assigned to be the secondary officer, so there's a lead officer, and I work with the lead officer to investigate the case.
Okay. And as the secondary officer or detective, what exactly do you do?
Everything with the lead. We take primary lead of the case. We have other people that assist us if we need help, and we can assign them to help us out with whatever we need. Every case is different, takes us to different places, but so each one is unique, but we kind of know the overall what's going on with the case.
Okay. Upon arriving on scene, did you come in contact with Detective Whelan?
Yes.
Okay. And was he made the lead for this particular case?
He was.
Okay. And as lead, does he sort of direct the investigation to some extent?
Yes, he does.
But at Tampa Police Department, do you function together for the common goal of investigating the case?
Yes, even though we have different assignments, we all work together as a squad, which, we can kind of bounce ideas off each other, help each other out as needed. Like I said, each case is unique, but we work together as a squad, even though we have different assignments.
And so when you arrived on scene, did you make observations as it pertains to the scene, the condition of the body of Nylexia Alexander and such?
Yes.
Okay. And while you were at the scene, did you come in contact with witnesses?
Yes.
And while you're at the scene, are you making sure that these witnesses are interviewed right there on scene?
Yes.
Okay. And is Detective Whelan taking the lead, though, as it pertains to the investigations and questioning?
Yes, he is. We work together.
Okay. Now, are all those interviews recorded?
Yes.
To the best of your ability, you see to it that they're always recorded?
That is correct.
And is it your goal to see to it that they're recorded at the time that the interview even begins? And in some cases, as you're walking up to the location?
Yes.
Okay. Was that done in this case?
Yes.
And is it your goal to have these witnesses sworn to?
Yes.
And was that the case?
Yes.
All right. During this investigation, were you at the crime scene on May the 6th, early morning, as you have indicated, for quite a while?
Yes.
And did you interview the two individuals that were responsible for calling 911?
Yes.
And what are the names of those individuals?
There's a Terry Maddox that we interviewed, and also Eric Walker.
Okay. Beyond that, at some point, did you come in contact with Alan Wallace?
Yes.
And did you interview him that day?
We did.
Okay. Moving on, was a neighborhood survey done that day by Tampa police officers?
Yes.
And what's the purpose of doing that?
As soon as possible, we like to get as much information. So we go to every house looking for videos, witnesses, any additional information that might help us with evidence.
And was that done in this case?
Yes.
Okay. And to that end, did you also go door to door trying to find video surveillance that might have captured anything as it pertains to this case?
We did.
Did you do that along with other officers, or did you do it only with Detective Whelan?
I did with Detective Whelan. Other officers did it before. Usually when officers respond on scene, they try to get information, so they might respond to some residences in the area, but we did that as well,
Okay.
Detective Whelan and myself.
And in this case, were there any videos that you obtained in which Detective Whelan was not around or didn't download?
No, I believe we did pretty much everything together in this case.
Okay. And on May the 6th, what did the bulk of your investigation consist of?
We did the witness statements, and we also, bulk of it was looking for additional witnesses or video.
Okay. And did you continue to work on the case consistently almost through the month of May?
Yes.
And as you would learn more information, would you follow up, you and Detective Whelan follow up with such information?
Yes.
Okay. And as lead, is it Detective Whelan who would then take in all the information, more so than you, and kind of summarize in detail what work was done?
That's correct.
In this case, did you draft any subpoenas or search warrants?
Yes, I did.
Which ones did you do?
I did multiple. I did a search warrant for the vehicle that we located, the suspect vehicle. I did a search warrant for the infotainment center, which is like the information on the dash that you get for that vehicle as well. I did a subpoena for a phone number in this case. I may have done others. That's what I recall right offhand.
Okay. But even then, when those things are done, it's Detective Whelan that will then document in detail work that is done in this case. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. And during your investigation of this case, was it necessary that you and Detective Whelan determine the identity of the individual that you had found at Florida, Nebraska, and North Highland?
Yes.
Okay. And ultimately, did it come to pass that on the day of or so, she was identified as Nylexia Alexander?
Yes, that's correct.
Based on that identification, were you able to follow along and do further investigation in this case?
Yes.
Did a time come that you came in contact with Ronnie Walker?
Yes.
What date was that?
Do you mind if I refer to my report?
You can use your report to refresh your memory.
I believe it was 9 days after the date of the offense, but I just want to check.
They smell like a bunch of bullshit!
We did multiple days of searching for video and
Would
looking
it
for
have
other
been May the 13th? Can you check
evidence.
and see if that's correct?
Yes.
Okay.
May the
And
13th.
under what circumstances did you come in contact with Mr. Walker?
We responded to it's Giant Motor Cars that's off of MLK in search for the suspect vehicle we had. We know that it was rented or purchased from that area. And so we responded there and we observed the vehicle, and at that point we made contact with Mr. Walker.
Okay. And when you made contact with Mr. Walker, was he in possession of this Ford?
Yes, he was.
Okay. And did you do anything, you and other law enforcement officers, which were arrested? Did you do anything to preserve that vehicle?
Yes, we did.
Okay. And was Mr. Walker with that same vehicle, that Ford Fusion?
Yes, he wasn't on the premise. He wasn't inside the vehicle when we made contact.
Okay. Did he acknowledge that it was his?
Yes.
In your presence?
Yes, he did.
Okay. On that day, when you came in contact with Mr. Walker, was he wearing...
Just a few more minutes, family. We almost up out of here. About 10 more minutes. That should be included in the outro.
Glasses?
No.
Okay. I'm showing you what has been pre-marked as state exhibits F1 through 3. You're recognized person depicted here.
Yes.
Okay. And who do you recognize this to be?
I recognize that as Mr. Walker.
Okay. And do you see him in court today?
Yes, I do.
Can you please point him out by an article of clothing?
It's a white shirt and a jacket.
May the record reflect that the witness has identified the defendant.
Reflect identification.
Okay. When you came in contact with Mr. Walker, was he the person in possession of the Ford Fusion?
Yes, he was.
Was Robert Creed there with him?
No, not at that time.
Did you and other law enforcement officers secure the vehicle?
Yes, we did.
And then what did you do with that vehicle?
There's an officer that follows the vehicle from the tow truck. It's sealed by the crime scene technician to make sure that the inside's secure. And then an officer will follow it with the tow company to our impound lot where it's secured.
And was that done
Yes,
in
it
this
was.
particular case?
Yes.
Okay. And then did you and Detective Whelan obtain a search warrant for the vehicle?
Correct. I authored a search warrant that was signed by the judge, and then we executed it that same night.
Did you properly execute it? Did you read the search warrant to the vehicle?
Yes.
Okay. And was that search warrant executed on May the 13th of 2022 or thereabouts?
I believe it went into the night. I know that we worked a very long day, and we didn't get home till 4 or 5 in the morning. It was very long, so it was either that night of or the morning of. It could have flown in between.
Were you present when the vehicle was searched?
Yes, I was.
Were you present when it was processed?
Yes.
Was it processed for blood?
Yes.
Okay. And based on the information from the processing of that vehicle, were swabs collected from that vehicle?
Yes, there were multiple swabs that were collected.
Is it customary to send those items, the swabs, to FDLE?
Yes.
Was that done in this case?
Yes.
Were items that were inside the vehicle also documented, collected, and packaged?
Yes.
In the vehicle, was there a jacket, a black jacket?
Yes, there was.
Okay. Did that jacket later on become relevant to this case?
Yes.
Okay. I am showing you State Exhibit B 1 through 6. Can you please look at
Thank you.
this item? Is this an accurate depiction of the photograph of the car that you came in contact with on May the 13th?
Yes, it is.
Your Honor, moving into evidence, State Exhibit B to him.
Yes.
Okay. Did you note any injuries to him? Do you remember?
I don't recall.
Okay. State Exhibit F2 and State Exhibit F3. Mr. Walker?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I think there's some confusion as to the exhibit numbers. B1 through 6 should be photographs of the vehicle.
This is F I'm publishing.
I don't think those have been admitted.
Not yet.
I just did. I thought I admitted this.
You referenced them, but you didn't ask the.
I apologize.
It's okay.
I move into evidence State Exhibit F1 through 3.
Any objection?
No, Your Honor.
F1 through 3 will be admitted.
Okay. I move into evidence, if not done, State Exhibit B1 through 6.
Those are.
Okay. Permission to publish?
Granted.
Okay. State Exhibit B1. Is this at the Giant Motors lot?
Yes, it is.
And this is how you found the vehicle, is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. And was it documented at location?
Yes.
B2?
Yes.
Okay. B3?
Yes, on the vehicle.
Are you familiar with this make and model of a vehicle?
I am.
How so?
Our detectives drive Ford Fusions, similar style, so it's very familiar. A lot of detectives are driving those in our department.
Okay. B5?
Yes.
Now, when you were B6?
Yes.
Okay. When you were reviewing, well, you mentioned that you and Detective Whelan looked for video ad nauseum, correct?
That is correct.
And is it safe to say that in this particular case, Tampa Police Department collected numerous videos?
Yes, that's correct.
And were some deemed to be relevant for this case?
Yes.
But then ultimately there were some that became quite relevant. Is that correct?
That is correct.
All right. And so in reviewing these photographs, you said that some of your detectives have driven this exact make and model. Is that correct?
Yes.
Have you ever driven one?
Yes, multiple.
Okay. Do you know if Detective Whelan has ever driven one? Do
Yes.
you know?
I believe he still does.
Okay. So with that, in reviewing the vehicle from the crime scene. I'm specifically directing you to that 3000 North Highland video in which you see the vehicle go to this location and then turn around at the dead end. Do you know the one I'm speaking of?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Were you able to review that video with Detective Wieland?
Yes.
Did you make a determination as to the make and model of the vehicle?
It appeared to be a Ford Fusion.
Okay. And was this in sync with the information that you had learned from Alan Wallace?
Yes.
Okay. So as you continue to review to work on this case, did there come a time in which well, specifically first on May the 13th of 2022, did you obtain a buccal swab from the defendant, Ronnie Walker?
Yes, we did.
Okay. And I am showing you did a crime scene investigator, was a crime scene investigator present when this was done?
Yes.
Okay, but you have personal knowledge of that being done?
Correct.
Okay, and was it done by Miss Calderera?
That is correct.
Okay, showing you State Exhibit 26, is this the packaging and the information as it pertains to this case for that buccal swab?
Yes, it is.
Okay, Your Honor, the state would move into evidence State Exhibit 26.
No objection.
Okay. Showing you, thank you. Showing you State Exhibit 24. Is this the packaging and information as it pertains to Robert Creed?
Yes, it is.
And did you come in contact with Robert Creed during the investigation of this case?
Yes, I did.
Did you personally package and collect the DNA for Mr. Creed?
Yes.
Okay. Your Honor, moving into evidence State Exhibit 24.
It will be admitted as State's 24 without objection.
Okay, thank you. As it pertains to DNA swabs, how does one go about collecting a sample DNA from an individual?
There are two swabs. It's almost like a Q-tip, and then you place it into the back, like the molars, the gum area of the mouth, and you wipe against the cheek, and the DNA will be extracted onto the Q-tip and placed in a secured. It's a cardboard box, and then it's all placed into evidence from there after it dries.
Okay. And is the goal to do this, to test this DNA against other possible evidence in the case?
That is correct.
Okay. And was protocol followed in this particular case?
Yes.
Okay. Now, we have talked about a particular jacket that was in the Ford Fusion. You were present during the search of that vehicle, correct?
That is correct.
Okay. Showing you what is in evidence as State Exhibit C34. Is this that jacket?
All right, family. Sorry to cut y'all short, but I got to go. So I will come back either tonight. I'll for sure be here Saturday, but I'll probably come back tonight and see if y'all want to catch up with any of the parts that we missed, so that we'll be all caught up. So appreciate y'all being here. Shout out to Miss D56. What up, though? Yeah, it's just ICM now. It's ICM. Enchantment coins. What up, No One? I see you. Appreciate you. Tack Clouds, TSC. Appreciate y'all being here. I ain't gonna lie, I got to go. Joni Foe, what up, though? Got to go. Rock Solid, TSC. Cha Diggy, what up, though? Cha Diggy slid through. Jazzy T, Texas Cat, appreciate y'all. And like I said earlier, Vernicia Williams. And like I said earlier, I did a show on this last night, 4 hours. So if y'all want to get caught up, check out my last show I did about this last night. It's a 4-hour show, and it'll get you all up to date, except for what I played today. No, but I appreciate y'all. I ain't even got time for an outro. I gotta go, family. We out. Peace. Much love. Until next time, stay fresh and stay blessed. Peace out.